Hi friends, welcome back to new session. So in the last session, nothing but video related to basics 2. Okay. So in the last video, nothing but basics 2 video. So what is our conclusion? We explained generator principle and direction of dynamically EMF is given by Fleming's right hand rule. And in Fleming's right hand rule, I said thumb indicates mechanical energy, forefinger magnetic energy, center finger or middle finger nothing but electrical energy. Similarly, I explained motor principle. So direction of force experienced because of motor action is given by Fleming's left hand rule. In Fleming's left hand rule, I told center finger means electrical energy, forefinger means magnetic energy, thumb means mechanical energy. That was the conclusion in the last video. Now in this video, once again I will be proceeding with the basics. So we'll discuss some more basics here. Okay, right. See guys, let me discuss here right hand thumb rule. Right hand thumb rule. Right hand thumb rule. Very simple. You might have studied. See this right hand thumb rule. First of all, let me discuss for straight conductors. Then I'll go for circular conductors. Okay. Let me take for straight conductor. Then we'll go for circular conductor. See guys. Tell me for straight conductors. So if you take like this, if you take a straight conductor like this, suppose if current is flowing upwards, that means thumb indicates direction of current. Your wrapped fingers indicates like this. Wrapped fingers indicates direction of magnetic field, or I can say flux. Suppose that means indirectly here, see, if current is flowing upside, direction of flux is what? Anti-clockwise direction, right? Anti-clockwise direction. Okay. If current is flowing downwards, direction of flux will be like this, clockwise direction. So this is for straight conductors, very simple. So for straight conductors, thumb indicates what I said. Thumb means direction of current. Direction of current. Direction of current. Now tell me guys, what about wrapped fingers? W R A P P E D. Wrapped fingers indicates what? Direction of magnetic field. Direction of flux, or I can say direction of magnetic field. Is it clear? This is for straight conductors. Is it clear? Now let me take a circular conductor. Circular conductor. See, if you take any conductor in circular shape, like anything, you can take any conductor in circular shape. Example, if you take a bangle, okay, in a circular shape. Suppose if current is flowing in a anti-clockwise direction, that means wrapped fingers indicate direction of current, whereas thumb indicates direction of flux. So wrapped fingers indicate direction of current, thumb indicates direction of flux. That means current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, so flux will be upwards. Suppose current is flowing in a clockwise direction, wrapped fingers indicates direction of current, so thumb, so direction of flux will be downwards. Right? Very simple. So let me write here. Wrapped fingers indicates what? Wrapped fingers indicate direction of current. Direction of current. Now what about thumb? Thumb indicates direction of magnetic field. Is it clear? Right. Next, Tell me guys, in electrical machine, we will show, if suppose direction of current entering into the board means, that I will be showing with a cross. If direction of current coming from the board means, that I will be showing with a dot. Okay, so let me write that one also. Cross means what? Cross means what? Direction of current, direction of current, direction of current, direction of current, direction of current entering into the board, entering into the board, into the board. Is it clear? Or we can say like this also. Suppose we can say like this also. See, direction of current entering into the board means it is going away from me. That means direction of current going away from the observer, away from the observer. So that also we can write. Or direction of current going away from observer, away from observer. This is what cross indicates. Is it clear? Now what about dot? What about dot? Dot indicates what? Direction of current coming from the board. Direction of current coming from the board. Or coming from the board is nothing but it is coming towards me, right? Towards me. Therefore, direction of current coming from the board or direction of current coming towards the observer. Is it clear? So let me write here. Direction of current coming from the board or direction of current coming towards the observer, coming towards the observer. Is it clear? Right. Next guys, so can you please tell me what about Faraday's first law and Faraday's second law? So please, I think I already discussed this indirectly. Please tell me Faraday's first law means what? Faraday's first law means what? What this Faraday's first law tell us? Very simple, I am asking question. Okay, see, if you see basics first video, what I wrote in the first statement, what I wrote, according to Faraday, the basic requirements for inducing EMF are set of conductors and magnetic field, and there should be rate of change of flux linkage between conductors and magnetic field. This thing I already explained in the basics first video. See, indirectly Faraday's first law tell us how EMF will be induced. Very simple. It tells us how EMF will be induced. Tell me how EMF will be induced. EMF will be induced in a conductor if there is relative time variation RTV or relative space variation RSV between conductors and magnetic field. Very simple. Okay, so please let me write here. So Faraday's first law tells us what? Faraday's first law tells us, it tells us how EMF will be induced. How EMF will be induced. This simply, Faraday's first law simply tells us how EMF will be induced. So let me write here. EMF induced in a conductor, EMF induced in a conductor if there is relative time variation RTV or relative space variation RSV between conductors and magnetic field, between conductors and magnetic field. Is it clear? Very simple. It's about Faraday's first law. And can you please tell me what about Faraday's second law? Faraday's second law. So Faraday's second law tells us, is also very simple. Faraday's second law tells us how much EMF will be induced. See, Faraday's first law tells us how EMF will be induced. Faraday's second law tells us how much EMF will be induced. That means The magnitude of induced EMF is given by Faraday's second law. Simple. Okay. So it tells us, Faraday's second law tells us how much EMF will be induced. How much EMF is induced. How much EMF is induced. Is it clear? Right. So that's nothing but the magnitude of induced EMF is given by magnitude of induced EMF is given by Faraday's second law. Right guys. Now, okay, before proceeding, see guys, in a transformer, what is the nomenclature for windings? Primary winding and secondary winding generally will be using. Primary winding is the one which is connected to the source. Secondary winding is the one which is connected to the load. In our discussion, generally we will be using primary winding and secondary winding. To be frank, the correct nomenclature for windings in transformer is low voltage winding and high voltage winding, not primary winding and secondary winding, because without connecting source and load, it is not possible to justify primary winding and secondary winding, because you said that winding which is connected to the source is nothing but primary winding, winding which is connected to the load is nothing but secondary winding. Suppose if source and load are disconnected, then it is not possible to justify primary winding and secondary winding. So the correct nomenclature for windings in transformer is low voltage winding and high voltage winding. Suppose in examination, if they are given you, the correct nomenclature for windings in transformer is option A, low voltage winding and high voltage winding. Option B, primary winding and secondary winding, like that they are given. So you should go for option A, low voltage winding and high voltage winding. Okay. But anyway, in our discussion, we will be using a primary winding, secondary winding. Examination point of view, please try to remember a low voltage winding and a high voltage winding terminology. Okay. So in transformer, we will be using terms primary winding, secondary winding, or low voltage winding, high voltage winding. In induction machine, stator winding, rotor winding. So in transformers and induction machine, we are not using armature winding, field winding terms. Okay, armature winding, field winding are the terms which are related to synchronous motion and DC machine. These terms are related to alternator, nothing but synchronous generator, synchronous motor, DC generator, DC motor. These are the terms related to synchronous motion DC machine. Anyway, let me give a small information regarding armature winding, field winding, excitation, DC excitation, all those things. Okay, so this discussion will be useful for synchronous machine, DC machine. Okay, tell me guys. So let me give some notes. Note 1, I can say, first note. Tell me, what is armature winding generally? So what is meant by armature winding? See, in a previous video, we explained generator principle. There explained what is the generator principle here. When a moving conductor curves the magnetic field, an EMF is induced in that conductor. Conductor I am using, right? That means in practical generator, a conductor can be called as armature winding. Not only generator, in motor or generator, practically a conductor can be called as armature winding. Okay, so let me write that statement here. In practical generator or motor, whatever. Okay, in practical generator, conductor can be called as armature winding. Let me write simply AW. Okay. Now tell me, what is the definition you can give for this armature winding? That means indirectly, what is the definition you can give for conductor in generator I told in the previous video, when a moving conductor cuts the magnetic field, an EMF or current is induced in that conductor. That means armature, in practical generator, I told a conductor can be called armature winding. So armature winding is the one where EMF is induced. Very simple. So let me write here. Armature winding is the one where EMF is induced. EMF is induced. Is it clear? Very simple. Now similarly, let me give one more note. Tell me guys, what is the definition you can give for field winding? Once again, I am just saying, I am just taking that generator principle. So please try to repeat that principle once again. When a moving conductor cuts magnetic field, tell me, how can you get magnetic field? Yes, for getting that magnetic field only, we are using a field winding. Okay, to be frank, field winding will be there in case, you can take in case of alternator or synchronous motor or a DC generator or DC motor, we will be giving DC supply to the field winding. Is it clear? So some current is flowing in field winding, then the magnetic field will be produced. Okay, field winding is the one through which if we send current, magnetic field will be produced. Is it clear? So this process can be called as excitation. Process of sending current through field winding and creating magnetic field is called excitation. So before writing definition for excitation, let me write definition for field winding. Okay, field winding is the one. Field winding, simply write field winding can be written like this, FW. Field winding is the one through which if we send current, magnetic field will be produced. Is it clear? Right. Now please tell me definition for excitation. I am asking definition for excitation. Simple. I already told. What is the definition for excitation? Process of sending current through field winding and creating magnetic field is called excitation. Okay. Process of sending current through field winding and creating magnetic field is called excitation. You please tell me, so which winding is used for excitation? Please write it here. Field winding is the one through which if we send current, magnetic field will be produced. Process of sending current through field winding. I am writing here. Okay, that means so field winding is used for excitation. So let me write that note also. Field winding is used for excitation. Okay, and let me give one more note. Yes, see guys, if you take alternator, what is the other name for alternator? Synchronous generator. If you take synchronous motor, if you take DC generator, if you take DC motor, all these four machines can be called as double excited machines. Very simple reason. Very simple. If you take example alternator, we are giving two inputs. How? See, for a generator, we are providing mechanical energy. That means we are making conductor to move. Yes or no? Whenever this conductor move and cuts magnetic field, then EMF will be induced. Okay, that means we are giving a mechanical energy to the generator. For field winding also, you are giving DC supply because for producing magnetic field. That means we are giving two inputs, mechanical energy in one side and a DC supply to field winding. Similarly, in case of DC generator also, we are giving mechanical energy and we are giving DC supply to field winding. So we are giving two inputs to synchronous generator, comma DC generator. Similarly, if you take synchronous motor, so you are giving a AC supply to armature winding, because motor means you should give a electrical supply. Electrical supply you should give. That electrical supply, nothing but AC supply we are giving to armature winding, and already DC supply is given to field winding. Okay, for excitation. So once again here we are giving here two inputs. If you take DC motor, DC supply is given to armature winding. Once again DC supply is given to field winding. That means we are giving two inputs in all those four machines. Okay, so those four machines can be called as double excited machines. Observe clearly in alternator or synchronous motor or DC generator or DC motor, in all four machines, DC supply is given to field winding for excitation. That means DC excitation is used in all double excited machines. Don't confuse with all those things, because I will be having confusion with armature winding, field winding, all those things. If we start synchronous DC machine, there will see field winding, armature winding, excitation. Okay, why only DC excitation? All those things will be clearly explaining if you start synchronous machine and DC machine. I am just giving a brief information. Okay, so in a double excited machine, in double excited machines, so please tell me what are those double excited machines. Tell me. Synchronous generator. What is other name for synchronous generator? Alternator. I am just writing simply ALT, alt. Okay, alternator, comma synchronous motor. Okay, comma DC generator. Okay, comma DC motor. So these four machines can be called as double excited machine. Please try to remember, synchronous generator can also be called as alternator. Don't confuse with this. Okay, so in double excited machines, nothing but in all those four machines, DC excitation is used. Okay, DC excitation is used. Is it clear? Okay, so what is here? One more question you should understand. So synchronous generator, it's a double excited machine. Synchronous motor, double excited machine. DC generator, double excited machine. DC motor, double excited machine. Okay, now what about transformer and induction machine? Suppose if you take a transformer, so how many supplies you are giving to transformer? Only one supply. So I just connect only voltage source. I just connect only one external voltage source to the primary winding. So because of that, EMF will be induced in primary winding. Same flux will go from primary to secondary through transformer core. It links with secondary winding. There also EMF will be induced. That means by using only one external voltage source, EMF is induced in primary winding. EMF is induced in secondary winding also. That means for transformer action, only I need one external voltage source. That's it. EMF will be induced in primary winding. EMF will be in secondary winding. Power will transfer. Is it clear? That means how flux is going from a primary side to secondary side. So through transformer core. So by mutual induction principle. Okay. So transformer works on mutual induction principle. Similarly, if you take induction machine. Okay. Let me take induction machine, induction motor. You are giving supply only to stator windings. Is it clear? So in stator windings, EMF will be induced. Same flux will go from stator windings to rotor windings through air gap by mutual induction principle. Once again, in a rotor, EMF will be induced, thereby torque will be produced. Okay, we'll see all those things if we start transformers and induction machine chapters. Okay, so what I want to say here is very simple. If you take transformers or induction machines, these two machines works on mutual induction principle. Okay, these two machines can be called as single excited machines, because we need only one external voltage source for having their operation. Okay, is it clear? So let me write that point here. So transformers, okay, transformer, comma induction machine are called single excited machines, single excited machines. Is it clear? Yes or no? Okay, right. Please note down. Thank you.